Okay, so I'm a min-maxer at heart, and I was looking for more information about the crafting system and what may or may not be possible. I ran into this information about items on Reddit from Powell, who happens to be a PCF dev. Shikao Wakabayashi said, "Can you raise armor rating of armor or firepower of a weapon? Or will we have to roll those perfectly?" Powell answered, "You will have to roll them perfectly." In the demo, I managed to get 2 Grim Marrows. Both are level 9, but we can clearly see that the firepower is very different between the two. The question here becomes, is the firepower the variable that determines the damage, 13 and 15 in this case, or does the damage dictate the firepower? And these are the only variables that seem to be locked within the confines of the item level. The 344 has higher attributes in all but close range damage. This suggests to me that the 307 gun has a higher attribute level in close range damage than the 344. If we were to make the attribute levels the same in both guns, I believe that the close range damage in the 344 would become higher. Now, imagine that you got the 307 drop and dumped all of your materials into it to level it up. You would have no way of knowing that it was an inferior gun compared to the 344 because the 307 would have a higher item level when you picked up the 344, and thus its stats would be higher. Then, when more god roll information is discovered, you would find yourself waiting for a new legendary drop because you already scrapped a duplicate and dumped a crap ton of resources into the inferior gun. This is why you should wait to level up the gear you want to level up. Right now, there's no way of knowing what the god roll is for a particular piece of gear. I believe that eventually a data miner will be able to create a spreadsheet listing out the various guns and revealing what the god roll is for any particular piece of gear, regular or legendary. But that reveals the ultimate problem. Out of an unknown number of legendaries available in the full game, what are the odds that the one gun you want will drop? What are the odds that it will be a good or bad roll on armor or firepower? Now, what are the odds that it'll be a god roll piece of gear or a weapon? Welcome to the true grind of Outriders. If you're not interested in min-maxing your character, I'm sure any version of an item will be just fine, and you can level it up to your heart's content to get through the game as you see fit. But if you're like me and you want the best base items you can get to upgrade, the grind just got a lot longer. I have a Golem's Limb and an Airy Master, which are great guns for me as a trickster main, but I don't know if the roll on them is good or bad, and there's no way in-game to determine how good they are right now until another one drops. And then I level them up to be the same level. So now, I can't upgrade them or any other gun for that matter to any meaningful degree unless the base item is worth the material investment. I wonder how long it'll be until someone comes up with a god roll list for the game. But honestly, that's why I made this video. I want this information to be heard by as many people as possible so that that list gets made. By the time I start working through expeditions, I'll hopefully be able to start leveling and upgrading the best pieces of gear, so I'll waste as little materials as possible on inferior items. Since we're talking about items and god rolls, let's go over the crafting because there's a little bit of misinformation going around. Hopefully this information is correct. If not, correct me and I'll pin the comment. As you may know by now, if we gain a common item we like, we can upgrade the item from common up to epic if we have the materials to do so. We can't upgrade items from epic to legendary, so if we want to use a particular legendary weapon with a specific set of attributes, we'll have to wait for it to drop. For those of us grinding legendaries, if we find one we really like at low levels, we can spend materials to level it up. This is the same for any weapon you may be using right now. Leveling it up costs materials, of course. And since higher level items have up to 3 attributes, you can gain attributes to the gear you're leveling up when it reaches a particular level. Like our level 9 gear right now has 1 attribute. If we level it up, it'll gain random new ones once they hit a particular level. But like I said before, don't waste your materials leveling up legendaries right away. Attributes can be leveled up individually as well. The max level for an individual attribute is 6. And my understanding is that the attributes level up to their max value per level. So thankfully, there's no RNG in leveling attributes up to level 6. Now, since higher level gear will have a higher value on attributes, if you raise an attribute to level 6 and then raise the level of the item, the attribute value will remain the same, but it may drop an attribute level because it's no longer the maximum value for the weapon since it's now a higher level. You can regain that lost attribute level by leveling it to the max of the current item level again. I really like this way of leveling items because it gives trash items value to the player in the form of leveling resources. It doesn't feel like I'm wasting time grinding for gear even if I'm not getting the pieces I'm looking for. It's an amazing solution that I hope other developers mimic in the future. Mods can be swapped around, but it's going to be necessary for you to find a weapon with one of the 2 mods you'll want to use, since only one mod can be swapped at a time. If you're not looking for a particular legendary, this is where the first RNG wall pops up. If you find the epic shotgun you're looking for, but it has 2 mods you can't use, you can only swap one of them, since the other will lock into place. So if you're looking for an epic gun, because no legendary will suit your weird-ass build, hope it pops up with one of the mods you need and is a good roll for the item. In the case of legendaries, they thankfully drop with the same mods and attributes every time. The values on the attributes might be different, but you still have to hope that it drops in the first place. And with an unknown number of legendary weapons in the game, we might be grinding for a while to find the one legendary we want to use and the other legendary we need to break down for the mod we want to add to the first legendary. In a move that feels like a quality of life system, we can change the weapon variant. So if you like a semi-auto assault rifle compared to a full auto, or the sharpshooter variant if you like single shots, you can change the variant to fit the build you're working on or your playstyle. Changing variants will take resources as well, but it's probably a static amount for each change since the game encourages build flexibility. So that was just, a basic rundown of the craft stuff. Let me know if I'm wrong about the crafting system, if I made a mistake or anything, and definitely let me know if there's a way in-game to find out if you have a god roll weapon or not. I'm genuinely curious because it's going to make crafting much better that I know that I'm not wasting materials. Share the video to help get this information around because we want someone to create that god roll list as soon as possible. Like the video if you found this information useful because I know you did, and do the other YouTube algorithm things if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Until next time, I'll see you in Enoch.